this is super dope. I got Annalise Azadian here with me. What's up?
Was good.
So your new EP, 6 Weeks of Seven, is out now.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I think this is the first time I've seen someone drop each song off an EP or a project week by week since, like, I think Justin Bieber did it like a long time ago with this. I forgot what the album, Journal something, whatever it was, but he was dropping a song every week. So I thought that was so cool that you decided to do this for this project.
Thank you. I didn't even know that. That's really cool to know. I kind of just came up with the idea randomly. Also, it was fitting with the name, and I had the name of the project before I even thought of that kind of release plan. So it just worked out.
And it's crazy because you and I have been DMing and talking about this for like a while. Like you and I have talked like since like February about doing this interview. And I remember at the time in February, you were like, the album, the EP, the album's coming out. We'll do this and blah, 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 blah. So I guess like what happened to like, obviously, the coronavirus pandemic, but like, was this the same project that was happening back then? Or is this like something completely like new, something that you created?
No, it was the same project. It just kind of took a little longer because I started to work on the film, and I wanted everything to be done before I even started dropping, just so that I could force myself to be consistent. So, like, kind of like leave no excuses for not having content or something. And also, like, there was the coronavirus and then just everything going on in the world, and it just wasn't the best timing, and it was just a little weird, but it was like worked on 2 years ago, so I ended up just putting it out because at this point I've been making new music and I just want to keep putting music out there, so I just wanted to get it out because I don't know, being an artist, sometimes you just throw away a bunch of work when it gets outdated.
Well, I guess at least the pandemic gave you some time to kind of like really like hone in and finish and like kind of like make this like I guess the complete vision that you wanted like from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely had more time to make it perfect.
So why did you decide to go this route, to name it 6 Weeks of Seven, to drop the song every single week? Like what was kind of like your thought process and the reasoning behind it?
So I came up with the name in 2018, and I was doing, actually, it was really weird. Like, I was making a calendar to, like, get some sort of structure in my life. I had quit my job. I was ready to take on music full time. And I actually, like, instead of 5 weeks, I drew 6 weeks on a calendar, which is actually, like, 6 weeks of 7 days. So I was just, like, 6 weeks of 7. I have this weird thing with sevens. Like, I have it tatted. Like, my birthday is 7/17/97. Like, that's when I was born. So I always had the same with sevens. So I kind of just like the sound of it. And then I thought it would be dope to drop it in 6 parts because it is a singles game now. I love projects. I love bodies of work. But just in the day of age we're in, that's not really, like, the focus anymore. So I was like, all right, I'll give myself, like, 6 chances. And see what happens.
That's so funny. I kind of love that because it's like you had a plan for yourself, but you were also just like, we'll see what happens. And it was cool because when I was listening, I was watching the movie, and I was watching, like, so what I did was I watched like all the videos out so far, and then I watched the phone dropped, and then I watched the movie, and I thought it was cool how, like, you created like many music videos and then they all kind of come together to some extent for the film.
Yeah.
So so you like directed and like you did all this stuff for the movie, right? Like this is all you, like you did this entire thing, like pretty much not by yourself, but like, like you directed it and handled all the creativity.
Yeah, definitely not by myself. I worked with this dope videographer. He also a director, Steve Wells, and he's like the king of 1 minute. Like he does these 1 minute music videos. And I had this idea. I was inspired by Tierra Whack a couple years ago. She did these like 1 minute like videos that kind of all combined. And I was like, I want to do it, but in my way and like with my vision. So like all this, like I had this idea, like I don't have a budget. So I'm like, how can I get sets for music videos with no budget? So I'm like, let me just use the world, like a nail salon, like a roller rink. And there was no permits or anything. Like we just walked in and like tried. If almost got kicked out a few times. but it came out to be like a really beautiful thing at the end.
And you did it in like all on a budget of like $1,000, right?
Yeah, to be honest, like I started this when I had no job. So like I had no money and now like I only work like a minimum wage job, so it's still no like real money into it. But creativity just overpowers everything. So
But I think that that's really impressive that you were able to get like a whole EP done with 7 songs. You got all these videos done, and you got like this 17-minute movie to go along with the EP and the art for the EP, and like with $1,000. Like I think that that's pretty impressive because obviously albums cost a lot of money. So I think that that's dope that you were able to like find different ways to knock all this stuff out for less than a grand.
thank you. It was definitely a process, but I feel like it will never be as pure as this moment of my career. So it's pretty cool.
What do you mean? What do you mean by like it won't be never be as pure?
Like just like the hunger in me, and like you have like you can't, I don't know, like I don't believe in the word no, so you just got to figure it out by any means necessary. And with no budget, that's like it makes it a lot harder. So, and I feel like also like with labels, and it's like a bunch of people's visions, it's never just like completely yours. So
Have you so what type of struggles, being independent, because you brought up labels and whatnot, have you do you enjoy being independent? Do you kind of like wish that you might have had that little label support? Like how do you feel like right now putting out this project? Like how are you feeling about it right now?
well, I chose for it to be independent. I had a couple deals last year, and they didn't seem fitting for me at the time already, and I didn't want it to be changed. Kind of like I wanted to give myself a chance to see if I could get my numbers up and just build like my price kind of. And yeah, I just turned them down, and I feel like a better one will come my way. And like being signed is great and all, like I'm sure there's like an amazing deal out there, but being independent is cool because you get to like really use your vision and see what your fans like and build organically.
I think that that's funny. You got the labels calling, but you like, you know what? I'm gonna stay independent. I'm gonna keep to my vision. I'm gonna keep to my soul. Like I know what I want, and I know that like this is it. And I think that you did a great job. Like I always tell people like I love a really good theme on a project. So like any project that's like has a theme or has like a bigger vision to it than just being an album, I really fuck with. So that's why I thought it was cool because you did like obviously with the week by week songs, and then like the calendar for the picture of the album, and then like the movie for it. It just kind of like I like how it all just kind of like blended together and like kind of flowed naturally.
Thank you.
And in the movie, you talked about doing fashion design and directing and all this other stuff, and you were like self-reflecting on like on new ways to express yourself. So talk to me a little bit about like the fashion and the directing and like all these new things that you're kind of like exploring and getting deeper into.
Awesome. Well, like I did like a bunch of merch drops as well each week, and each week was designed by me. So like I literally hand design these shirts. I press them, like I cut vinyl. The first was a collab hoodie with this amazing artist, Omi. So that was definitely cool. He also did the cover art. And then the other drops have been by hand. I bleached them. I made jeans. I like distressed them. I'm kind of just like into everything. A couple years ago, I got into modeling just naturally because I worked at BBC in Soho. Yeah, and like I kept getting approached saying like people ask me if I modeled, and I'm like, nah, not really. And then I got this Apple campaign, and that was like, okay, maybe I could do modeling too. And then I've always just been into fashion. Like I've always had my own style and stuff like that. So I'm like, what better way I could just make clothes myself? And eventually I would love to have my own brand. And
yeah. So all the merch that you made for this project, you made by yourself?
Yeah.
Damn, that's dope. That's dope because I feel like then like people who buy it, it's kind of like unique because it's like in a way it's like a one-of-one piece because I'm sure like not every piece is like 100% exactly the same.
Exactly, like no piece is the same, and literally like made with love. I take hours on them.
So with this the little biographical short film, like how much of that, because obviously a lot of them were the 1-minute videos kind of like spiced together with extra stuff in it. So what were you with this? What was your goal with this mini short film? Like, what was your vision for it? Like you know, story, purpose.
There's not much of a storyline. Like, it was more like I wanted each music video to kind of have like its own, like you feel like you're going into a vibe, kind of like its
Right.
own little thing, and then the bits and pieces between it could kind of like tie it together. And I also just wanted people to get to know me more, because I'm not that personable like on my Instagram. I'm never really like talking too much to my fans or anybody, like so I just wanted people to get to see like some behind the scenes. That's what I'm going to be doing further. Like, I want people to see my thought process in the studio, because I keep a lot of that stuff behind like closed doors, and I just like end up popping out with an end result. But I know people want to see the process too.
Yeah, like people, like your fans really like want to like see like how everything, like, you know, how everything comes together, like the music and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's next for you after this? Because obviously this is such a big moment, so dope. Like I said again, like I love how like unique the idea and the vision is for it. But what's next for you after this? Like what's your hopes and desires for this project, and where it's gonna take you within the next year?
Well, I was hoping that this would be my last independent project, and like I really just wanted to get these ideas out and then kind of start a new journey, and get my numbers up and just find like something fitting for me. And yeah, it's working. So I'm just gonna keep building my numbers. I really wanted one thing to go viral, so we'll see. I have some more surprises after this six. This is the 6 weeks, but I have some more surprises too.
Right,
So
because you have like can we talk about it? You have like a remix to
yeah,
Without You coming out, right?
yep,
So tell me about that, because I know it's with a Korean artist. So
yep.
that's kind of that, you know, that's some global shit. That's pretty cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm super excited. His name is Jooyoung, and he has like he has an amazing voice, really good fan base in Korea. So I'm just super excited that he even got on the record, and it sounds amazing. So I'm hoping that can do something too. And we have a music video coming out for it, so I'm really excited. It's gonna be on Starship TV, which is like a really awesome YouTube channel. So
How
it'll
does
be
like a
cool.
collaboration like that come about? Because he's obviously not based here; he's based over there, right?
Yeah.
So how did you reach out to him? Like, how do you make that like cross the world connection?
Well, I just got a new manager, and she
Nice.
kind of made that work. So, and he was down, and it's awesome. I would love to meet him too, and I would love to go out there. I'm want to go so many places in the world, like overseas, and actually, like most of my fans are. It's an international like fan base from Spotify, and I've been watching like my algorithms on Instagram, and a lot of it's from overseas and everywhere. So it's pretty cool to see that you have no idea like who's really listening or tuning in.
Nah, facts. That overseas bag is different too. That overseas bag will like get you like that overseas bag is crazy. Like you go like you think you have a fan, and I always tell people this story. There's like this documentary, and I think it's called Searching for Sugar Man or something like that. It's about this guy who was like South Africa's I don't know, Beyonce, right? Like that's how they looked at him in South Africa.
Yeah.
Like in America, he lived in like a rundown Detroit apartment building. So like he
Oh
would
wow.
go to South Africa and he would be treated like a king, and then he would just come back to his you know his regular day-to-day life here in America, where he sold 7 albums, but over there he's like a legend. So it's so
That's so
crazy to
good.
think about how like and now it's easier to tune into people across the world. So I think it's really cool how like, you know, you're paying attention to like where your fans are coming from, and like you're seeing like, oh cool, so I got like a big fan base in like, I don't know, in like England. All right, cool, so I gotta go there eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really dope.
Yeah. No, I would love to go to the UK too. So I need to like start touring or something, but Corona.
Well, it's okay. It's not gonna last forever. And with that being said, so before I let you go, something I've asked everybody to do during the pandemic, every artist I've interviewed, I've asked them to send a message home to like anybody watching this, like whether it be their fans, family, artists struggling to be creative during this time, people just struggling in general. What would your message be to them?
I feel like it might sound cliche, but like just continue whatever path you're picking, like be committed to it and work hard at it, because literally anything is possible. I feel like I've manifested my whole life, low key, and and I just feel like it's super important, even when you lose faith, to just always have it and remain strong, because in the end, like, things do get better, and whatever you do put your mind to can come true. I'm a firm believer in that.
Boom. I love it. Let the people know where they could follow you at, where they can get your music, anything else you want them to know. Now's the time to plug it in. Yeah.
You can find me at Annalise Azadian on all socials. It's ANNALISEAZADIAN. It's not too complicated. YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. And yeah, I'll really appreciate it if you stick with me on this journey. I got new music, 6 Weeks to 7 out now. Thank you.
Boom. I want to thank you again so much for taking the time out of your day to talk to me about this project. I really loved it. It was super dope, super different. Definitely some new sound for the quarantine that I feel like is much needed. So thank you again
Thank
for
you so
tapping in with
much.
us
I
this week.
really appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Annalise Azadian on the radar.